Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel. I appreciate you coming back for another episode. We are on old streams. I believe this is episode number 9, and we are in day 2, and it's just after lunchtime. Mom made us a nice lunch, and our belly's full, and we are going to do some harvesting today. We're going to harvest some sunflowers today, and so we actually need to drive our combine up to the store and pick up our header. So we will just do that momentarily here. And then drive down to field number 6. Field number 6 is a newly purchased field right next to the farm. I would rather have fields that are close by than fields spread out. And so obviously this map is not that large, so it's not that big of a deal. Good morning. All the nice town folk here. They've been very, very appreciative. You know, this is possibly the one spot on this map that I truly love the most, is this little prayer shrine here. You know, being a Catholic myself, I'm very usually don't talk about these kind of things, but I am proud of my faith, and seeing something like that on the map is just kind of cool. All right, so the shop had actually ordered in 2 different headers, and I wasn't real sure which header worked with this particular Fent, and it's actually the smaller version. I think the larger version would probably work, but it's just a little bit, I think it's a little bit too heavy, and obviously that larger version of the header would work fine for the larger Fent. The Fent that we're actually using on Coldborough Park Farm is the larger version of this particular Fent combine. Alright, so yeah, I am planning on doing both, or all, I guess all 3 series for now. I had talked about the fact that maybe, just maybe, I would drop Old Streams. But I know there's a couple of you out there that enjoy this series, and quite honestly, Old Streams is getting a lot more views than Goldcrest is, and I completely understand why. Goldcrest, even though I'm playing an edited version of the Goldcrest map, meaning it's not the standard end-game one that came out when Farm Sim 17 came out, I think that, you know, I think everybody that's watching YouTube channels and such, sorry as I adjust my track IR there, I think they've just, you know, they've just seen Goldcrest until they're just about crazy. So I'm gonna continue to do Goldcrest only because let me unfold my header here while I'm here in the middle of the street so I don't lose any crop, and unfold the combine. And yep, come on. Go ahead and turn this bad boy on and we'll get started. I may need to get that Eustace Pharmer guy to come up here and trim some of these trees for me. He did such a good job with that earlier. Let me just get this one pass in here, and then I will continue talking about whatever it was that I was talking about. Alright, maybe that'll work. Anyway, with Goldcrest, because it is sort of a test, it is sort of, you know, working in this whole seasonal approach to virtual farming that I started with the original Goldcrest, and then just sort of adapted it over when we went with Stevie's edit. Thankfully there's no clipping on these trees. Just this will get a little bit better once we get out from around these trees. Anyway, with Goldcrest, I want to continue it only because I want to know about the, I know we're going to have enough silage. We've got, my gosh, we've got enough silage for probably a couple of years, or a couple of game years. But I really gonna make sure that I have enough, straw and grass and hay and all that stuff, because one of the reasons why we did that big grass field was obviously to give ourselves enough grass and hay to be able to support our animals as we enter into winter, which we're about to do. The next time you see a Goldcrest Valley series, and I don't know what series number, I think it'll be episode like 26, I think, or so, we will be day one of winter. And as I had mentioned, the winter season is probably not going to be that involved. There's not going to be that much to do. We're not going to be doing, obviously, we're not going to be doing any harvesting. We're not going to be doing any plowing or cultivating. We're not going to be doing any planting. We will sell some of our crops. We will be tending to animals. We'll be doing things like that. We may purchase some more equipment in prep for being able to do some alternative fertilizing, either liquid manure or solid manure, something like that. So that's how that's going to basically play out. But I want to continue to do it, even though the viewer numbers are somewhat lower on that particular series than they have been on old streams, just because I want to see how that is going to pan out. Because a lot of this, a lot of this knowledge, a lot of this information that I'm somewhat gaining from playing Goldcrest, obviously is going to apply to Coldborough Park Farm and or any other map that I choose to play and do seasonal farming to. And I think, like with Soil Mod, for so many of you, and even including myself, FS15, playing these maps on FS15, it just wasn't good enough without Soil Mod. Once you sort of got going with it, once you sort of understood how it worked, it became something that you wanted to have. And I want these remnants over here. I'm greedy. I want every single amount of soybean that I can get. We're not going to leave any soybeans behind. But just like Soil Mod to FS15, I can tell you that seasonal farming, the way that I did it with Goldcrest and the way that I've started it with Coldborough Park Farm, I am now regretting not doing that here on Oldstream. And but I'm not going to start over. We're just going to continue doing things the way that we're doing it, and just make the best out of it. But yeah, so I plan to at least get through at least halfway through this next year with Goldcrest, not the calendar year, but the virtual farming year. So in other words, get to a point to where at least we can see, did we survive on how much hay we had, and did we grass and silage and all that stuff. So we will just see how it all pans out. And of course, Coldborough Park Farm, I think I have, we've released 3 episodes of Coldborough Park Farm up to this point. I was doing a schedule with sort of a set schedule before, when I was just doing the 2 maps. We were doing Goldcrest Valley on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Oldstream on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And I will eventually get back to some kind of routine because that's better for me. But right now, as I had explained in one of the Coldborough Park Farm episodes, I'm trying to get at least between Coldborough Park Farm and Goldcrest Valley, I'm trying to get those about opposite of each other. In other words, I want to try to get Coldborough Park Farm to either very late spring or maybe even early summer before I start doing a lot with Goldcrest Valley, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to be, I think we'll go up and down now here. What I don't want to do is I don't want to be harvesting on, you know, both maps at the same time and planting on both maps at the same time and that sort of thing, if I can avoid it. And I don't know if I can. It also depends on, you know, which map am I enjoying playing the most. And as I've told you guys and gals from the beginning, while I'm certainly aware and I want to put content out that you folks will enjoy and watch and comment on and continue maybe to tell your friends about the channel and that sort of stuff, I also have to do things that are fun to me, because quite honestly, you know, I go to work every morning at my IT job, and it's not that please don't get me wrong, I don't hate my job at all. Quite the contrary, I actually quite enjoy what I do. I'm very fortunate that I get to do something that I enjoy. But you know, I don't have much of a choice. You know, I go to work and I do the things that need to get done, and you know, I come home. With my YouTube channel, you know, I am playing the things that I want to play. So you may have noticed that, you know, even though I sort of have in my arsenal of things, you know, ETS2 and ATS, flight sim, stuff like that, even like Car Mechanic Simulator, I've done some of those videos on Twitch, I think. I don't know if I've ever recorded anything for YouTube for Car Mechanic Simulator, but in any event, right now I'm still very much enjoying playing Farm Sim, and you know, the viewership of watching Euro Truck or ATS2 is just you know, is somewhat lower. I'm going to go ahead and cut this edge here just to give us a little bit more room with those trees, but this is what I'm enjoying doing. So I guess what I'm trying to say, but I'm rambling on, is that you know, I'm going to play maps that I enjoy playing, and right now I'm really, really excited about Coldborough Park Farm because it's bringing back so many memories for me with Farm Sim 15 and British style maps. And I completely understand that you folks have many choices as far as YouTubers that are recording gameplay on Coldborough Park Farm, and all the big names are doing it, and I appreciate those of you who do continue to watch my episodes of Coldborough Park Farm, even though you have so many choices out there. But for me personally, it's a map that I really truly enjoy, and I just want to share that with you, and I've really enjoyed playing it. So that's why you're gonna, you know, that's why you've seen you know, three episodes straight of Coldborough Park Farm, and I haven't released anything else since I really started playing that series. And a lot of it also has to do with the fact that I've scaled back my, well, let's just face it, it's been the holidays, and while I've been off work and I've had time to do things that I want to do, Jerry things, as my wife often refers to them. I've also enjoyed spending time with my family and doing other things, other hobbies that I enjoy. I have a wide range of interests and hobbies that far exceed my gameplay, and some really cool stuff that I've been doing in addition to farming. And perhaps one of these days I'll talk a little bit about some of my other hobbies that I enjoy doing. Now there is a if you truly like this Oldstream map, there is a version of this map that is in the process of being created, made, developed, modified, because it will basically be this map, but it will have a little more of a British look and feel to it. So I think we all know that this map is pretty much set in France somewhere, and so Wonko, who runs the PCSG forums, is a map modder. You may know of him through his map Smokedown Farm that he created for FS15, and I hope that he is planning on converting that over to 17, or at least coming out with something similar to Smokedown Farm for 17, because I really didn't play Smokedown Farm much. I spent a little bit of time on it, but it was sort of the map that came in between Coldborough Park Farm for me on 15 and Paradise Hills, and I started doing the Paradise Hills series for YouTube in, I don't know, in September or October. I started recording those episodes. So but anyway, he is with Blacksheep Modding's cooperation and everything. He is coming up with a version of this that's going to be basically a little bit more British in feel and look and stuff. So I don't know when that map will be made available for download, but you'll certainly be able to know more about it, learn more about it, if you go over and join the PCSG forums. He has posted some updates and stuff on that there at PCSG. Alright, so we'll clean this up here, and then we'll go down and cut the other leg of this field. This is kind of a dog leg. Well, maybe not necessarily a dog leg, not a true dog leg, but anyway, sort of L-shaped field. And so we will go down and grab the rest of this. So I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas, and I hope you had I hope that despite all the somewhat negative things that have taken place in 2016, I mean, we have certainly lost so many very talented individuals, and I will, just for the record, let you know that I'm recording this on the 29th of December, so it's not yet New Year's. 2017 is not yet here, but so many talented people have passed, and it's such a let me back up here. I'm really trying to avoid damaging and losing any crop at all as I completely forget to put my header down and drive off into that. Oh well. We've lost so many talented people, but I certainly hope that 2017, my wish for each and every one of you all is that 2017 is an incredible year for each of you. Lots of cool things are coming, and for all of you farm sim fans, and I'm not just, when I say farm sim, I don't always mean the Giants game. I'm talking about the genre that is farming simulator software, farming simulator games, applications, whatever we want to call this. Between the latter part of 2016 and the first, middle, and maybe throughout 17, there's going to be so many new things that are going to be coming out for farm sim fans. And we talked a little bit about the Cattle and Crops dev blog that they released just before Christmas, talking about the muddy conditions and everything, and that's just so cool. That's all what we've been longing for, I think, with this example of farm sim. I think we are all, and I say this just speaking for myself, because I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but I think what we've all seen, the difference between 15 and 17, we're very happy, we're very, very pleased about it. But I think that at the same time, I think that it's kind of interesting that we don't have some of this other stuff. Like for example, why didn't Giants just go ahead and put, like for example, course play as an option into 17 or something similar? And I'm not saying that it's got to be hard coded where that's the only way that it works. Let people have options, the option to turn it on or turn it off or whatever. Or like soil mod or seasons. I mean, why are we in the 2017 version of Giants Farm Simulator, and we don't have true seasons represented? What about soil mod? What about and I think there's some elements of soil mod that obviously 17 has. They've incorporated, to a certain extent, they've incorporated obviously the 3 times plowing and the 3 times fertilization, or not 3 times plowing, but the plowing every third harvest, the 3 times fertilization, stuff like that. They've incorporated some of that stuff in, but why they didn't, go a little more, go large on this, I don't know. And especially when fairly early on, we knew sort of what Cattle and Crops was going to be about. Or at least we knew what the concept, what the ideas were. And I think it's going to be really telling to see how Giants reacts to Cattle and Crops. I sort of was talking about in episode number 3 of Colbert Park Farm, I was talking about the Giants really has 2 kind of different things, and I think I failed to get to my second point. The first point was, obviously they need to listen and watch carefully what Cattle and Crops does, so that they can attempt to come out with something similar for Farm Sim 19 if they're going to carry on with the every other year release of this game. But they also very much need to listen and pay attention to their customers. And I'm sorry I didn't really talk about that during that episode. I just ran out of time. I probably got sidetracked with my thoughts and everything, as I so easily can do. But that's what Cattle and Crops did, or that's what they have said that they have done, is that they have spent time listening to those of us who play the Giants version of Farm Simulator, and wanted better ground terrain response, and wanted seasonal farming, and wanted this kind of stuff built in, and that's what they've decided to do, is they decided to create cattle and crops. And I think if Giants isn't careful, and I'm not a predictor of any of these kind of things, although I have opinions, but if Giants isn't careful, then Giants just may find themselves no longer at the top as far as farming, the farming simulation expert, if you will, something like that. I think you know what I'm saying. Anyway. All right. Well, we are getting close to finishing off this field, as well as getting close to our time. Our time is almost up, and looks like we're going to have probably under 9,000 liters, I guess, of sunflowers, when it's all said and done. It's still pretty darn fun. I mean, I know that I speculate, sometimes you have to speculate to accumulate, right? I know that I occasionally talk and provide opinions on what I think these different things are going to be, or what they're not going to be, or whatever. But even as it is, even without seasons, even without some of the other bells and whistles and things that we like, I'm going to just go ahead and back up and take out this bit here before we go all the way down to the end. It's still pretty darn fun. I mean, I think you must admit that even though it's lacking in some things, the one thing that is not lacking is our ability to control our own imagination. And as I sort of talked about when I first started the seasonal approach stuff, is that even though seasons aren't built into the game, you can still adjust your imagination, your perception on how things operate, especially if you turn off the plant withering and stuff like that. You can still 8,113 liters. You can still set this up and do, play this game at however you want to play it. So, all right. Well, here's what I'm going to do: is I'm going to say thank you all for watching, and I am going to go ahead and empty the combine right here, and go ahead and put this in storage for now, and end this episode as we are approaching the half-hour mark. And thank you all so much for watching, and please tell your friends, and please come back again for the next video on Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel. I appreciate you watching. Take care now. Bye-bye.